With that being said, let's head to the trading floor in Chicago and talk with Oliver Sloup. He happens to be with Blue Line Futures. He joins us right now. How are you?
Well, hanging in there, and it's nice to see these grains kind of hanging around, too, making a little bit of a comeback from last night's weakness, and I think a lot of that was on the back of a little bit better weather throughout some parts of the Corn Belt that have been struggling to get some planting done. So I think we saw some sellers step in, but nice to see some renewed optimism here on the open. Hopefully we can get some follow-through. I think we're seeing some premium come back into the market ahead of this afternoon's crop progress report, which will get a look at planting, which is expected to be 80–85% complete, well below the 5-year average of 100%. But this will also be the first look at crop conditions, and we're looking for good to excellent ratings to be about 10% behind the 5-year average, anywhere from 62 to 65% good to excellent. Then obviously tomorrow a big USDA report, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some premium continue to flow into these markets throughout the morning and into the afternoon session.
So if you look at the flip side of that coin, the way you described that among the talk of the traders, that means that they perceive maybe 17% of the nation's crop is still not planted yet on June 10th.
Yeah, I know it, and that's a big question mark. This is a very fluid market, and what is planted is also holding a big question mark over it, because we know what has been planted, some of that is underwater, some of it may not perform up to recent standards, so yield is going to be a big question going forward. It's going to be interesting to see how the USDA reflects some of the recent weather in tomorrow's report, but we're expecting things to be lowered quite a bit on the acreage front as well as yield.
A lot of analysts that I speak with, they say the USDA won't venture very far out on that limb to make any sort of a major change in their projections for the crop this year, at least until they get further out in the year. Do you agree with that thought?
I agree. I think they'll lower it a little bit. I don't think it's going to be anything substantial, but I think it'll be hinting towards additional walkbacks. They set the bar pretty high. USDA is pretty data dependent, so they're going to wait for the hardcore facts to come out, not necessarily speculate on what the weather is going to do. That's our job here, and we think that there's more opportunity for this market to run higher, as the weather has been a huge issue throughout the Corn Belt this year.
Okay, we'll come back and examine our livestock trade. We're talking with Oliver Sloup of Blue Line Futures. He's located right there in Chicago, where it's all happening right now, and we'll continue our talk in just a moment.